Hello everyone, this is Nirali Patel from ULJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In today's lecture, we are going to first discuss about conditional probability. After that, we will discuss about multiplicative theorem for independent events, and after that, we will see some examples. So let's get started with conditional probability. What is the conditional probability? So for any two events A and B in a sample space S, the probability of their simultaneous occurrence. That means event A and B occur simultaneously. Therefore, both the events occurring simultaneously, as I told you, is given by P of A intersect B is equals to P of A into P of B by A. Now, how we can read this P of B by A? And what is this P of B by A? So, this P of B by A is nothing but the conditional probability of B given that A has already occurred. So, in previous, we have discussed that suppose we are taking 52 cards. And suppose we want to find the probability if we are drawing one card and we want to find the probability of getting the red card. So that is nothing but 26C1 upon 52C1. Now, suppose now there is an event A of getting red card. Okay. Now assume that there is one more event, that is event B of getting face card. So to get the face card, what is the probability of getting the face card? So P of B is nothing but 12C1 upon 52C1. But now if I am telling that first you select the red card and from that you have to select the face card. So here you have to find the probability of getting the face card, but there is one condition that red card is already selected. Okay. So the conditional probability is nothing but the probability of B in our example of getting a face card given that A has already occurred. That means red card is already occurred. So here we find the probability of any event, but there is some condition that particular event has already occurred. So this P of B by A is conditional probability of B given that A has already occurred. Or we can also say that the conditional probability of B considering A as a sample space. Similarly, we can also write P of A intersect B is equals to P of B into P of A by B. That means this P of A by B is nothing but the conditional probability of A given that B has already occurred. Or we can say that probability of A consider in B as a sample space. So that is about the conditional probability. Now moving to the next topic, that is multiplicative theorem for the independent event. So if A and B are two independent events, the probability of their simultaneous occurrence is given by P of A intersect B is equals to P of A into P of B. Now simultaneous event could be the independent and dependent as well. So here we are discussing about the independent event. Now this equation we have already seen in the last slide. Okay. So here we are using this equation to prove this theorem. Now moving to the proof of that theorem. So from this Venn diagram, you can see that suppose this is for event A and this is for the event B. A intersect B, this is A intersect B union A intersect B bar is nothing but A. So we can write A is equals to A intersect B union A intersect B bar. Now you can see that intersection between A intersect B and A intersect B bar is 5. So from that we can say that A intersect B and A intersect B bar are mutually exclusive events. Now for the mutually exclusive event, we can write P of A intersect B plus P of A intersect B bar using the axiom 3 that we have already discussed in the previous lecture as well. Okay, so if we are taking the probability both sides, so we will get P of A is equals to P of A intersect B union A intersect B bar. Now, as this A intersect B and A intersect B bar are mutually exclusive events, we can write P of A intersect B plus P of A intersect B bar. Now, this P of A intersect B is nothing but P of B into P of A by B. This P of A by B is the conditional probability of event A given that B has already occurred, as we have discussed in the conditional probability. So here that is given that conditional probability of A given that B has already occurred, and A and B are the simultaneous event. So from that we can write P of B into P of A by B. Similarly, we can also write P of B bar into P of probability of A given that B bar has already occurred. Now, if A and B are independent events, so the proportion of A's in B is equal to the proportion of A's in the B bar. Okay, so from that we can say that P of A by B is equals to P of A by B bar. Now, here these two values are equal. So now putting that into the equation number A. So we can write P of A is equals to P of B into P of A by B plus P of B bar into, now instead of this P of A by B bar, we can write P of A by B. So P of A is equals to P of A by B common into P of B plus P of B bar. Now P of B plus P of B bar is nothing but 1. So we can write P of A is equals to P of A by B. Now the value of this P of A by B is equal to P of A. So we can put that P of A by B as a P of A. So we can put that value into this equation number 1. So we will get P of A intersect B is equal to P of B into P of A, that is nothing but equal to this P of A intersect B is equal to P of A into P of B. So that is about the multiplicative theorem for the independent events. Now let's take some remarks that we have already seen the additive law in the previous lectures. So the additive law is used to find the probability of A or B. Therefore, the P of A union B. And this multiplicative law is used for finding the probability of A and B. That means P of A intersect B. Now moving to the first corollary of this theorem. So if A, B and C are 3 events, so then we can write P of A intersect B intersect C is equals to P of A into P of B by A into P of C by A intersect B. So how? Let's understand through one example. In one bin, there are 3 black balls, 3 red balls and 3 green balls. Now from this bin, first I am taking one black ball. After that also I am getting the second black ball, and after that I am also getting the third black ball. So here I can write the probability of B1 intersect B2 intersect B3. Okay. So The first time I'm getting the black ball. So what is the probability of getting the black ball in the first row? So that is the 3 by 9 into, now what I'm doing, once I draw the black ball, I'm not putting that into the bin again. So now after getting the first black ball, if I'm not putting that into the bin again, now the remaining black ball is 2. So now after that, once again, if I'm drawing the black ball, so what is the probability of that? That is the 2 by 8. Now again, after drawing that second black ball, I'm not putting that black ball into the bin again. So what is the probability for getting the third black ball? That is the 1 by 7. So over here, the probability of getting the second black ball is depend on the event of getting the first black ball, because once we draw the black ball, we are not putting that back into the bin. So this probability is affected due to the first event. Okay. So that's why here the P of A, then P of B by A is written. Because see, here the probability of B is the conditional probability of B given that A has already occurred, as we have discussed over here. Now probability of getting the third black ball is depend on this first, that is A and B, according to our theorem. So that's why here P of C by A intersect B is given, because that is depend on A and B. So this probability of C is depend on the event A and B. That's why the conditional probability of C given that A and B has occurred. Okay. Now the next is that if A, B and C are independent events, this C is the capital. So the probability of A intersect B intersect C is equals to P of A into P of B into P of C. Now let's understand this through the same example. So here in this bin, there are 3 black balls, 3 red balls and 3 green balls. Now what I'm doing, first I'm want to take first black ball, then the second black ball and the third black ball. So I want to find the probability of B1 intersect B2 intersect B3. So this B1 represents the event of taking the first black ball. Similarly, B2 and B3 represent the event of getting the second black ball and the third black ball respectively. Now here what I'm doing, first I'm taking the first black ball. So 3 by 9 probability of that. Now once I draw the black ball, after drawing, I'm putting that black ball into the bin again. So if I want to take the second black ball, so what is the probability of that? That is also 3 by 9. And if I'm taking the black ball again, so that is also 3 by 9. Because once I draw the black ball, inspecting that black ball and putting that black ball into the bin again. Okay. So here there is nothing but P of A into P of B into P of C. Now the next corollary is that if A and B are the independent events, then A and B bar, A bar and B, A bar and B bar are also independent. Now moving to the next corollary, that is corollary 3. So the probability of occurrence of at least one of 3 events A, B, C is given by P of A union B union C, which is equal to 1 minus P of A bar intersect B bar intersect C bar, as we have already discussed in the previous lectures as well. So if A, B and C are independent events, then their complements will also be independent. So if their complements will also be independent, we can write P of A bar intersect B bar intersect C bar as a P of A bar into P of B bar into P of C bar, as we have seen over here in this corollary 1. Here A, B, C are independent events, so we have written P of A intersect B intersect C is equal to P of A into P of B into P of C. Similarly over here, we can write P of A union B union C is equal to 1 minus P of A bar into P of B bar into P of C bar, because the A, B, C are independent events, so their complements will also be independent. Now let's discuss about the pairwise independence and the mutual independence. So the events A, B and C are mutually independent if these following conditions are satisfied. So if P of A intersect B is equal to P of A into P of B, P of B intersect C is equal to P of B into P of C, P of A intersect C is equal to P of A into P of C, and P of A intersect B intersect C is equal to P of A into P of B and P of C. So if these four conditions are satisfied, so we can say that A, B and C are mutually independent. Okay, but if these first three conditions are satisfied and this last condition is not satisfied, so we can say that event A, B and C are pairwise independent. Okay, so hence we can say that the mutually independent events are pairwise independent, but vice versa is not true. Now moving to the examples. So first example is that if A and B are two events such that P of A is 0.3, P of B is 0.4 and P of A intersect B is 0.2. So here we have to find the first is P of A union B. Then P of A bar by B and then P of A by B bar. Now first let's find out the P of A union B. That is nothing but P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersect B. What is the value of P of A? That is 0.3. So 0.3 plus 0.4 minus 0.2. So P of A union B is 0.5. Now the next thing that we have to find is P of A bar by B. So that is nothing but P of A bar intersect B upon P of B. Now here we have to find the value of P of A bar intersect B. So over here P of A bar intersect B is written as P of B minus P of A intersect B. As we have already discussed this part in previous lecture in Venn diagram during the proof of different theorem, that this is A and this is B. So this is A bar intersect B. Sorry, this is A intersect B bar. This is A bar intersect B and this is A intersect B. So P of B is A intersect B union A bar intersect B. So we can write A bar intersect B is equal to P of B minus P of A intersect B. So we can put that value over here in this equation number 1. So P of A bar by B is equal to P of B minus P of A intersect B upon P of B. So what is the value of P of B? That is 0.4 minus 0.2 upon 0.4. So the answer is 0.2 divided by 0.4, which is equal to 0.5. Now the third thing is P of A by B bar, which is nothing but P of A intersect B bar upon P of B bar. Now the value of P of B bar is 1 minus P of B. The value of A intersect B bar. So this is A intersect B bar. So P of A minus P of A intersect B. So P of A minus P of A intersect B. The value of P of A is 0.3, P of A intersect B is 0.2, then 1 minus P of B is 0.4. So the answer is 0.1 upon 0.6, which is equivalent to 1 by 6. So that is the conditional probability of A given that B bar has already occurred. So this is all about today's lecture. In next lecture, we will discuss more example on this topic. Till then, keep exploring and thank you.